Excellent.
Ellipsa.
Can you play Feel So Good by Michael Boots?
Mickey Bublé.
Okay, Feeling Good by Michael Bublé.
How did he do that?
Ellipsis.
Ellipsis. That's such a funny video.
Elliptical.
I love that video. That one's hilarious. I just can't believe I decided to do the live stream on Tuesday, but this is my only day off for the next 7 days. I work 7 days straight.
Sorry, YouTube, you work around his schedule.
That is right. That is right. So I am sorry to everybody out there who is expecting this time tomorrow. Everybody who's like, hey, like Matt B, he's like, yo, what's up? Why didn't you
Why you gotta be like
give
that?
me a heads up, man?
Yeah, but for everybody else who's on the who's in the future, you know, over the international date line and all that, don't have to worry about it. So I think I'll see this tomorrow.
That is true. And you can watch this after it's been recorded. You do not have to watch it live. That is true. But it is more fun because we read your answers.
It's like you're here in the studio.
We interact with you, the viewer, at home.
That is true. And we're doing Answer the Internet again. And there's 3 of us. What's up, Joe Wagner? What is going on, my brother?
Good morning.
Yeah. So I had a bit of an experience this morning. That was fun.
And that's why we're here today.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it this morning. It's my only day off. I got to, it's the first, so I'll pay some bills today too. So fun day off.
Always fun, right?
Only day off, and I get to pay bills. But no, I had a procedure this morning. I'm going to have surgery on my right hip, and they believe it to be a labrum tear. But to confirm the exact locations of the tear, like where they want to go in and actually, like, they got to build a plan of action. They have to know where the tears are, so they know how to go in and like. Because they're going to do it orthoscopically. And so they want to know like their plan of ouch. Their plan of ouch. Joe Wagner threw me off.
What? It's their plan of attack. They're building you a bridge so you can get over it.
Oh my gosh. Joe Wagner, you threw me off. I was talking and read the comment as I was talking. The plan of ouch. That is going to be a classic quote forever. Warriors, plan of ouch. Yeah. No, not a plan of ouch. I hope to God it's not a plan of ouch.
That's kind of funny.
My hip hurts really bad right now, by the way.
You get a pillow. We can get a pillow.
What's up? Everybody's jumping on.
Sorry, I'm going to have to say
XO,
it now.
Bassright, Joe Wagner, Matt B, Revenator. What is up, brothers?
When it's a hip-related thing, it's always an old man, so it's my hip.
I always think your gun is digging into my hip.
I know. Your gun. What do you know about pressure?
Exactly. Now you know all about pressure.
I know. Well, I have kissed a man before. I love Jim Carrey.
I'm just constantly
for
under
his humor.
it.
But so I go in and they want a strategy, a plan of action for the surgery. And so they needed a MRI, but they have to do contrast. And so what they have to do is they have to go in and they have to put in like kind of like a catheter into your hip and then inject a bunch of fluid and stuff into your hip joint so they can contrast. So they can, when they do the MRI, they can actually see where all the tears are. So then the surgeon that's going to do the surgery can actually see where it all is so he can have a strategy or a plan of attack on where he's going to do the surgery. Yeah. So XO says, how did you injure it? I can guess. You're welcome to guess. What happened actually is I got...
I want funny answers only, though.
I know, right? Wrong answers only. Acrobatics in the bedroom? No.
Well, leaping a building in a single bound.
Yeah. Well, everyone that watches for any long period of time knows that the original hip injuries occurred from a 54-foot fall in the Navy, injured my neck, back, and hips bad. But
Nick injured his neck. His back. No.
Wait, is there a song that goes like that?
I know nothing.
Yes. So
no, there's not a song. It's
unfortunately, a couple years ago, I kind of re-injured it sort of in a very slow four-wheeler rollover accident. That didn't help, although it didn't hurt the last 2 years because of that. I had zero issue with it. And then the pandemic happened. And what happens is you condition your body's injuries to be a certain way. And so what happens is for the last, 7 years, I've been standing on concrete for 12 hours a day, and my body's conditioned to be okay with standing on concrete for 12 hours a day. And then the pandemic happened and I was off and I wasn't standing on concrete for 12 hours a day because my work, like where I work, it looks like carpet. It's not. It's just straight up concrete with a fake carpet overlay. It's literally
wannabe carpet.
Yeah, it's literally just concrete, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But my body's conditioned to stand on that. Well, then the pandemic happened. I got furloughed for a few months, laid off for a few months. When I came back, my body was like, I had to go stand, 5-6 days a week for 12 hours a day on this concrete again. And my hips were like, no, we don't do this anymore. We're not conditioned for this anymore. And then all of a sudden they started
We put that part of ourselves behind us.
Yes, we're beyond this, you guys. And so all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they were like, no, we're not good anymore. And they started to hurt really bad again. And for whatever reason, that particular part, the labrum that was injured 20 years ago, that got kind of sort of re-flared up, re-injured 2 years ago, all of a sudden decided we're just going to check out permanently now. And I tried physical therapy for the last 2-3 months and it did not help at all. So unfortunately, one too many sugar cookies, Joe Wagner, ding, ding, ding. The winner, Joe Wagner, wins the thing right there.
You've never had to do a sugar cookie.
Actually,
what are you talking about?
mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah, Matt B says he's going to need to get me a walker for poor Seaman.
Imperial Walker?
Yeah, for poor Willie Cox. Helen X, what's up, brother? He says, good afternoon, everyone. It's been ages since he's been able to join. So he's at work. He'll be listening while he's working. Happy Tuesday.
So glad to have you. Get back to work.
I know, right?
You can, you should.
XO says, if it's at work or at home, it's probably mattress related. Good guess, because yes.
And the mattress needed to go from over there to over there, and that's what happened.
XO asks, did you lift, bro? I used to actually lift a lot. I would like to think that I used to lift a lot, although it's all relative. I had friends that lifted significantly more than me.
I lift a lot of baggage.
But I mean, when I was in high school, I used to rep 320 on squats. So, I mean, for some people that's nothing, but for other people that's like more than their max ever was. So, but I had a Hawaiian who was a buddy of mine who was on the football team. And if you know anything about like
Actually, isn't that technically
Hawaiian?
Polynesian?
Well, any kind of Hawaiian Islander, those guys, if you know anything about Islanders,
Built strong.
well, they have like shelves for like calves and like,
Shelves for calves.
I'm not kidding you. You can literally like place your drink on their calf and be like, hold on, I'll be
Is
right
that
back.
why The Rock has the blown out boots on the calves?
Dude, seriously, Islanders are naturally just built like tanks. They're huge.
Let's ask Aquaman.
But my friend Lenny Vamagalo, Lenny
Just trying to
is
grow
amazing.
outside of their small environment.
But like my sophomore year, he looked at me and he goes, you're my spotting partner. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And he's like, yes, you are. And I was skinny. I had long, lanky arms. And he was just like, that's what I need for spotting on squats. I don't need you to help me with anything other than wrapping around and keeping my shoulders up. And he's like, I need long arms for that because that's how you properly spot on squats. He's like, everybody else is stupid. You're going to help me.
Sorry, stubby arms, not today.
Yeah. Aww. And so I was like, great, this sucks. So anyway, he was like, you're my spotting partner. Well, the only problem is he repped like 320 and then he didn't want to pull a bunch of weight off. He was like, I'm willing to take one plate off for you and that is it. So you better learn to start squatting a lot. And
Sink or swim.
Yeah. So we took one 45-pounder, which was 90 pounds, which was 230. And I couldn't even like do it. And so he was spotting me and I was like doing like 2 of them at first. And he was like, it's fine. That's it. You're going to do 3 reps of 2.
You got to tear them.
I'm like, are you serious right now? Yeah. And he's like, yes, you're going to get it. And so that's how it started. In high school, I started powerlifting with this Hawaiian dude because he forced me into it. It sounds like
had a gun to his head.
Yeah, I had a gun to my head. But I'll tell you, I mean, by my junior year, I was repping 320, no big deal. It was like whatever, and I have big legs because of it. So at least that's what I said. But it's all relative.
I just got hairy legs.
Yeah, I have friends in high school that were repping 500 on squats, so it's all relative.
The size of your steeple.
Matt B says he was 150 in college and his max press was 300 for PT. So there you go. Yeah. Is that a Godzilla shirt?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Wagner, it is. Yeah. Well, it looks like we are. We have a fun-filled day. We actually have 3 of us. You're off today.
Yeah, and tomorrow.
Wow.
Which is random.
Yeah, random. Middle of the week. And you're always off because you make your schedule.
I mean, I always can be.
Yeah, except for we hadn't had you on for a while because you had made yourself busy doing some really cool activities. Yeah, you made yourself scarce, which was good for you. But
I was doing a full house restoration.
Yes.
Yeah,
Quite
they didn't want
interesting.
me today. That's, no, I couldn't fit in the car to go to Glenwood. They had all the supplies there, so I'm not going to be there today.
That's because they didn't care.
Yeah, they just don't like me.
Nope.
I told them that, too.
How
I was like,
dare.
I just thought it was because you didn't like me. That's why.
Ooh, Joe Wagner remembered. He said, "Don't forget alcohol." You know what's funny, Joe? You know what's funny is when we got here, I was like, "What was the story?" And I couldn't remember. I was like, "What was the story? What was the story?" And he was like, "Oh, I can't remember." So we had to watch the.
I was totally going to remember, and I didn't.
Yeah, so we had to watch the end
And
of
I didn't know
last-
what they were talking about at all.
Yeah, we had to watch last week's story time to remember because we totally
I
couldn't
came down
remember.
to a dead spot. My phone wouldn't work. The internet wouldn't
That's
work.
right.
I had to reset my phone. Finally found the video,
Aw.
pulled it up, and before we even got to the part, I was like, "Oh, I remember now."
Nate Haas. All right. So if anybody doesn't know who Nathan Haas is a awesome bro. Him and I used to work together, but he's more than that. He's a brother from another mother, and he's across the way. Actually, he moved away from. He used to live here where I live, but he's an awesome bro, and he's actually. I don't know if he's ever hopped onto a live stream. So way
Maybe we should
awesome.
start doing Tuesdays.
I know, but he hopped on, so that's super awesome. Thanks, Nate, for hopping on. Super good to have you on. So what is up, my brother?
Actually, yeah, Tuesdays aren't half bad for me.
I know, and it's not Will, it's Warrior, dude. No,
Yeah, jeez. What's your problem?
no, he gets to call me whatever he wants, except for late for dinner, because him and I we don't mess around when it comes to food. Funny story
Except for
time.
late to dinner.
Story time. We had him over for dinner once, and this is totally not a dig on him at all because it's just a funny story. We had this amazing I call it 5 cheese ziti al forno. I make it,
yes.
and it's this huge dish.
Yes.
I make it
Tasty.
enough.
It's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
good. Yes.
You guys like it? Okay, cool. And I had Nathan Haas knows where this is
Making
going.
me hungry.
Anyway, I make enough
talking
for
about
I make 12 servings.
Yeah.
So it's enough for 12 people, but I mean, it's
Or enough for you two. Yeah.
okay. So you know where this is going. Anyway, it was him, his wife. And this was actually before he had a big brood. He has a huge brood now, dude. And that's nothing wrong with it. I have a big brood myself and I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But, he comes over with his wife and it's me, my wife, my kids. He comes over and we're hanging out and we make it. And I'm like, and I meant it. I'm like, have as much as you want. And, I watched him. Now he's like a power lifter too, dude. Like he's like,
Gotta get those carbs. Gotta
he
get
is a
those
power
carbs.
lifter. Nathan Haas is he looks like a lineman for, the Denver Broncos. He's probably going to get pissed at me for saying that because
What kind of line?
You know my favorite team.
Yeah,
If he's a defensive lineman, he could be a little more lean.
I think he likes
like a
other
pass
teams. I can't
rusher.
remember which pro team he likes, but I'm pretty sure it's not
okay.
the
Is that
Broncos.
what he's upset
That's
about?
okay. Sports are dead now. Anyways.
How about the Bears? Eh?
But he's like 6'4", 280, and he was, working out and big. I mean, he's the
Wait for the correction.
defensive tackle. There you go. Yeah, Nate Haas, defensive tackle. I mean, the guy is, he's imposing. And
85 Bears.
He used to sell mattresses, and this is how he'd do it. He'd look at him and go, "You're going to buy this, okay?" And they'd be like, "Okay."
6'6".
All
Always
right.
correcting you there.
6'6". I know.
like my
I'm
height.
waiting for it.
Yeah. Oh, he was taller than me, right? But so anyway, he comes over and
Green Bay. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, Green Bay. That's right. I knew
What?
I
I
totally
thought
messed
Green
it
Bait.
But there's this huge bowl, and I'm talking, it's
He's
a
a Green
massive
Bay
bowl of this pasta. And I'm like, have as much as you want, eat as much as you want. And there was nothing left over at the end of the night. Like we polished that bowl off. You guys know
huge.
that big bowl that
I mean, I
Connie
eat a lot of that
uses?
stuff too, and I'm not a very big guy, but
Yeah.
it's that good, and you want to have at least
Dude,
seconds.
we polished it off, and I'll give myself credit. I ate a
I
ton.
bet the
that night
girls.
myself.
I bet the girls really had more than what you're thinking.
Oh, they did too. They did too. But man, but
since
Nathan
everybody
can
else is
put
doing it.
But Nathan can put some food down,
I
just
bet.
like football players can too.
And then he deadlifted right after that, so it all went to his muscles.
Yeah, he deadlifted me. I see no Jedi here. What is up, brother? Well, the way it works, if you guys don't know, we're going to do the cards like always. We all have 4, and you guys get to participate, play along. The way it
Always
works is we're going to read them, answer them, and then we'll kick it to you. We'll read your guys' answers. And then for anybody who's watching this after the fact, you guys are welcome to type in your answers after the fact. I always respond to every single comment
Like, share,
afterwards.
subscribe, and comment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Put your plug.
Yeah. And There's 13 concurrent viewers right now. We should have 13 likes. How many likes do I have? I have 4 likes.
What is that all about?
1, 2, 3, 4.
And so everyone's going to give me a like right now, except for I See No Jedi here out of principle.
Yeah, right.
Because
Sorry, nope.
and I like that.
Can't do
Got to
it.
be a man of principle.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Wouldn't be prudent. All right, let's see who goes first. Let's do it. Oh, you get to go first.
Always with wings.
Always
Sorry.
with wings. All right, go for it, brother.
Oh no.
Let's see what it says.
Okay, so would you rather wake up every morning with the TV channel numbers randomized and no guide, or have your keyboard layout switched every morning?
The TV.
Ooh, yeah, TV.
TV, 100%. 100%.
Keyboard layout. That just
It seems kind of weird, right? Because you'd be like, oh, crap, but no.
terrible typer enough as it is.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we have to pick and choose who these questions are for. We haven't done the 3 of us in a while.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, man, we
it
gotta
doesn't-
stick to the
It doesn't really matter, but Matt B says TV, Bass Reich says TV, and you know what the truth is if we had an old school TV, like, who cares? You just flip anyway. Like,
Right.
guys, we
That's
can't
90%
stick
of
on.
what you're doing is
Although-
commercial crap. I got to change
Although,
it.
if you were my older brother, it wouldn't matter anyways. That guy still types like this.
I mean, I do that on my phone.
Joe Wagner
Hunt
TV, I
back.
See No Jedi here TV. Everybody's TV, and that's
TV,
why
like
because
TV.
you learn the computer. The computer. I learned on a typewriter
Me
for
too.
the record. Yeah.
We're that old.
Yeah, we're that old.
I've not been
And-
classically trained in keyboard.
Yeah. It was fun.
Matt B says he definitely doesn't want to type like his 2-year-old, and then he gives a little example.
Yeah.
Every day to learn to type again. that
I can
would be
count a
horrible.
potato.
I would just stop using it and do audio only.
Well, they would have like one sentence
Yeah,
you
right.
have to do over and over.
Yeah,
and over
with
and over
with
again.
voice to text these days, I'm sure a lot of people aren't using keyboards anymore anyways.
The
Right.
problem with voice to text is I would say it and then I have to retype it anyway because half
Exactly.
the time it's wrong.
Yeah.
That would suck. So yeah, I think it's definitively TV. All right, let's go to the next one.
I said garage door, not lady of the evening. All right, come on.
Right.
Well, so I don't know. I think they're like giving me 2 choices that it's like weird. So would you rather go 3 straight summers without drinking? And again, I don't care. I could do
Yeah,
that. That's
I can do that.
Totally no big deal. Or live a full year in Antarctica.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That actually sounds adventurous and
Yeah.
kind of fun, although there are people that like freeze to death
so
in the summertime down there.
when I
So
think of
ooh.
Antarctica
Getting a little bit
living,
more
'Cause
colonized
it's not
than
the
people
Arctic,
realize.
it's
So
the Antarctic.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's definitely. I mean, if you're on like a research facility or something like that, they got some pretty cool,
Yeah.
movable facilities.
I'm just
around
gonna
that
say
are
one
pretty warm,
thing.
pretty safe.
I'm just going to say one thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
The thing.
John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, do you really want to live in Antarctica with some dudes? You know, you don't know if that timber wolf is actually a wolf or an alien that is disguised as a wolf and is going to invade
Dude,
your
You
entire.
don't know
It's
if that burnt pile of
Antarctica,
humans
not the
is,
Arctic.
pile of.
That's the Arctic Circle, though. At
No.
the same time.
Antarctica.
Well, that's where it was. It was in the Antarctica.
There's not wolves down there, my brother.
Well, there was one,
Not in,
There was one in that movie.
and it was not because it was indigenous.
No.
It's because it was part of another crew.
Yeah, it was the
Like
what
the
the
Swedes.
Swedish? Yeah,
Yeah.
the Swedish research facility.
They
yeah.
had, wolves down there for mushing and what have you.
Nate says he hasn't had anything to drink since he was at my house last time. So
Oh, snap.
so he could do
So
that
the
one.
question was 3 summers without drinking
Yeah,
or a
3
year
summers
in Antarctica?
with no drinking.
I mean,
or
I
a
could
full
do the
year
3
in
summers
Antarctica.
without
At
drinking.
this point in my life, to get away from all the craziness and all you people,
Oh,
yeah,
you
Antarctica.
I mean,
Dang.
it would be adventurous, but I wouldn't want to go alone.
Wouldn't want to go it alone? Well, I mean, I can't imagine they'd send you down there by yourself. If that's the case, then there might be like $1 million.
Talk
waiting
about
for when I get
social
home.
distancing.
Yeah, right.
Yikes.
I don't know. I see
You'd come back to
see all
like-
these people driving around in their cars with by themselves with their
even know.
masks on. So maybe they do want to go all the way to Antarctica. Going, oh, good, that's the one
mean,
place I'll be safe.
I could work on my beard.
Then I can swim in the ocean down there with my mask on. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful.
You're just like a popsicle floating in the water.
I mean-
they're like, hey, there's a dead
Yeah.
body.
Befriend a polar bear. And
I'm no
a
longer
penguin.
SureShot. You may now call me Bob.
There's no polar bears down there, dude. There are penguins though. That's about the only thing down there is some
Penguins,
fish.
seals.
There's seals. There's
Mr. Narwhal.
polar bears. There's not a whole
There
lot
are
of
whales under
animals
the,
in
under the
Antarctic.
ice. Yeah.
Yeah, whales down there. I See No Jedi says just what 2020 needs another case of the thing. Yeah,
It's pretty close.
it's true. Matt B, probably no drinks because I hate cold weather
By
and
the
I'm
way, they're
Canadian.
remaking that
There's a
movie?
reason I'm moving to Taiwan before December. That's true.
Yeah.
Is it warmer in Taiwan? I wouldn't know.
They're talking about remaking that movie,
What?
by the way.
I haven't been there ever.
Which is awful.
Dude, it's in the belt. Like, literally, like
Right
forever.
there.
It's in a tropical zone?
Yeah, the forever warm zone.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think we got everybody is pinned down to not caring about alcohol so far. Nobody said...
So far, I'm going to totally go Antarctica.
Yeah, everybody'd say Antarctica. Although that would be a misery, honestly, if you're honest with yourself. Nobody really wants to be cold that long.
haven't
might
had
pick up
I haven't
alcohol
had a challenge that
again.
big in my life in a while. So, it's I'm due for one. I usually have one about every 2 to 3 years.
Frank Brown, he's all, man, I got this notification and got confused on what day it was because it says Warrior Wednesdays.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a
It was
thing
all prepped and
remake.
ready to go.
There
but
was
the
a
wrong day.
prequel that sucked,
be
and
like-
now there's going to be a remake.
Terrible Tuesdays.
Yeah.
It was a terrible
there
Tuesday
was
this
originally-
morning.
Typhoid
remake.
Tuesdays.
I
Wait.
know.
Because it was the thing
all
from
about
outer
viruses,
space
everybody.
in
We're
the
keeping with the theme.
1950s. So, sorry. I mentioned that the thing is they're gonna make a remake, and the funny thing is about the thing, it was a remake. It was called The Thing from Outer Space, and it was like the 1950s, 1960s. It was pretty awful, and they remade it into John Carpenter's The Thing, which was awesome. And then they did a prequel, which sucked balls, and now they're gonna do another remake. So,
Suck balls.
sorry.
Both of them at the same time.
It's Tuesday. I can say what I want.
It's Terrible Tuesday.
Yeah, terrible Tuesdays.
It's Tiny Shirt Tuesday.
All goes.
Tiny Shirt Tuesday.
It could have been basketballs.
Good man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all, ooh.
Could have been marbles.
You're up. First question. Let's do it.
Okay, on to me. Who, me? Oh, okay. We're not debating today. We're answering the internet.
Yep.
All right. So, would you rather eat only poopy airplane food for the rest of your life,
The airplane food.
or
Ew.
have every meal be amazing, but you can only drink O'Doul's beer?
Oh,
what?
that's just an easy answer.
I mean, I'll do that. But
It's a long one. Let's go for the people who didn't catch it all. Would you rather eat only airplane food for the rest of your life, or have every meal be amazing, but you can only drink O'Doul's beer with it?
No. You can only drink O'Doul's beer. You can't even have water.
with your meal.
No. It's literally the only liquid you can consume is O'Doul's beer.
Not all day, every day.
Yes.
With this
Just
amazing
during your
meal.
meal. Just during your meal.
Yeah.
No, it
and
just
I don't
says
really
that you can
need-
only
Is it-
drink O'Doul's beer.
Or have every meal
With.
be amazing, but you can only drink O'Doul's beer. I'm assuming they mean with the meal. Why would
The
they?
way I'm reading it is it says you can literally only drink O'Doul's beer.
You're
Well,
gonna
you
get
know what?
dehydrated and die.
You know what? In our world,
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
yeah.
O'Doul's?
Yeah, I know, right?
Airplane
O'Doul?
fool, I need my scotch, Frank Brown.
Is that old
Does the alcohol come with? the
Nathan
airplane
Haas
food?
says every meal amazing. Me too. I mean, food is too important, man. Could you imagine airplane food? Your lust for life would be gone. You'd be like,
Depends on the
life
airplane.
no longer matters.
Is it first class meals? If it's first class meals, we'll be all right then.
First class
Frank-
meals? Well,
They
yeah.
say what kind. You know, it's not gonna just be peanuts and crackers the whole freaking time.
Have you ever flown internationally?
okay.
It sucks. It still sucks.
I'm
It's
not
like-
going to swear here, but I'm going to go ahead and spell you the word it's used to explain airplane food.
I know, it's
Shitty.
Dookie? I get it.
really not good. But no, I got breakfast on an airplane and it was a little thing of egg and it was microwaved.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
Egg
Yeah,
eaters.
and a piece of meat that was like microwaved with it. So they just throw all of it in the microwave it,
Everybody's on this O'Doul's thing.
and they
right
do
now.
it all, and then they come back through and they give everybody their microwaved stuff, but it's microwaved and then given to you, but they have to hand it out to everyone, and you're like the 47th person,
Well, that's not gonna be the
and
case.
it's been
though.
That is the case. That's what happened.
You're not gonna be on a flight the rest of your life for every meal. I'm saying
That's-
the food will be given to you like crap. But you
the
can drink whatever you want.
how
with it.
you get airplane food is what they're talking about. When it arrives on your lap, the
In
way
our
that
world,
you
we're going to
consume
say
it,
that it was prepared like
They're
it was
not going
from
to
the
put
airplane.
you in an airplane just for every meal. That you
No,
need
but it's going to be like they just handed you the airplane food.
yes.
So I'll eat it quickly. Now wash it down with something really good.
Oh, so you're going for airplane food over having to drink O'Doul's?
I don't want to drink crappy beer.
Hey, they actually have alcoholic beer now, so.
Well, crappy non-alcoholic O'Doul's.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Odell's.
No, this is the
No,
stuff.
this is O'Doul's. This is like
O'Doul's.
non-alcoholic beer, that crappy.
Usually it is, but I'm
non-alcoholic
pretty
beer.
sure O'Doul's has come out with an alcoholic beer now.
I don't know. Yeah. I
That was always a joke for a while anyways.
Like Foster's,
Which is
for
interesting.
beer.
Which is interesting
prefer
because
not
I
to
tested
have
that theory a couple different times when I went to a restaurant. They literally advertised a non-alcoholic beer and they didn't say what kind. me and my cousin tried to order it and they wouldn't let us order it because we weren't old enough. And I'm like, it literally says non-alcoholic beer. Well, if you look at the label of O'Doul's, there is a little bit of alcohol.
Everybody keeps misspelling O'Doul's.
Hey, you guys want some help? You want some help? I'll throw you a bone, little birdies. It's O''DOULS.
Frank got it.
Yeah, and Nate's like me. He's like, I'd be put on suicide watch. And Matt B's all want awesome food because airplane food is bleh.
That's funny because, I'm more of a beer snob than I am a food snob in a lot of ways.
Frank Brown just went to the internet and copied and pasted O'Doul's statement. I guarantee it because it says, O'Doul's is an all-natural, full-bodied, premium, non-alcoholic malt beverage. It contains only the finest natural ingredients.
Like
Only the finest that we found somewhere, the cheapest.
It says, not according to the interwebs, only alcohol-free.
100% poop.
What up, Disa Robert Arnold? He's my previous guild leader. What's up, brother?
Howdy.
Called out. Frank Brown, yes.
I'd rather have every meal.
Joe Wagner was misspelling it on purpose.
Well, of course.
O'Doul's.
O'Doul's.
I'm just saying, like, I'd rather
Hey,
have...
Ellipsa.
I'd
Give me an
rather have
O'Doul's.
everything the body needs in a shake than actually eat my food. Because it takes up too much time out of a day. I'd rather
You
be
are
doing
lazy.
Not lazy.
Yes.
You have to mix it.
You're lazy.
You need to mix it. You need to take the time to bring the cup to your mouth and drink it.
Yeah, you got to swish it.
So I guess everybody's all for the amazing food except for, well, kind of you and I, because I am half and half. I'm not going to want to eat crappy airplane food all the time, but yet an amazing meal
Give me
on certain
Gardettos.
days could be totally ruined by an O'Doul's.
Give me
Or,
Gardettos.
it would say it's
Amazing drink.
available to you, but that doesn't mean you have to drink it for that meal.
I mean, I don't usually...
Yeah, it says you can.
You can only drink.
which
Yeah.
means it's the only thing available.
You know what I can
to you.
also do
Doesn't
with
mean you
O'Doul's
have
as soon
to.
as the meal gets served?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's
There
the
we
thing.
go. Just chuck that can,
Here's the
recycle
thing.
it.
If that's all they give me for each of my amazing meals, I can eat that entire meal without drinking that.
Absolutely.
And then 10, 15
I'm a
minutes
man.
later,
I
have
can
a
eat
water
a meal
and be
without
fine.
drinking. Yeah.
Because that's all I really do is drink water anyway.
My sister actually makes this joke quite often. It's that she just can't understand how there's somebody who could actually eat an
Drinking
entire
water
meal without
right now.
drinking something, or even like taking a drink in between bites.
Okay, what do you get filled with when you drink pop? Gas.
Sugar. Oh,
You get filled with gas, and that's less room for your food. All right? So you just drink water and
it's
wash
not
it
gas.
down
It's
occasionally.
carbonation.
I mean, unless it's super boiling hot, and then maybe wait a few minutes, blow on your food, and eat it. You know, but ultimately, it's just eat your food, then wash it down with some water.
Robert Arnold says he's lazy, like a rug on Valium.
Indeed.
All right, you're up.
Oh, you're
That'll
already
do it.
Asia?
On vellum.
On Valium.
He's sleeping with
Aluminum.
Prince Valium tonight.
Valiuminium.
All right. Would you rather get stuck at a red light every time for the rest of your life
Eee.
or become a loaf of bread for 24 hours once a year?
Oh, I have to say I would rather just become a loaf of bread.
Why does this suddenly bring me back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
It's just one day.
Once a year.
Once a year.
You become a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
and
For
you
24 hours.
Hope to God nobody eats you.
I mean, that's one thing, because as inconvenient
I'd be
and
like
as
pumpernickel.
painful,
Nobody would eat me.
As inconvenient and painful as red lights are, especially getting stuck at every single one of them,
Darth
you would have to
Skywalker.
plan your entire life around one day a year to make sure that you are locked up and safe and protected and supervised and taken care of, and nobody accidentally feels like, oh man, I just got a hankering for PB&J.
Well-
Oh, sorry, dude.
You have somebody with like a bread intolerance or something like hanging out with you so they don't want to eat you.
What do they call those? Some kind of celiac. The ones that who
Celiac
cannot,
disease?
Yeah, celiac disease. They cannot have gluten at all. Like the legitimate ones, not the people who just claim it because it makes their tummy hurt. It's the people.
Racist.
You have somebody like that. Then he was like, "Hey, no, I know. Then I'm safe around you. No need to worry about this bread getting eaten.
Just read to me, all right?
I would just do it for the experience.
Just to turn to bread for the experience.
Yeah,
Just
but
experience.
I'd be like pumpernickel or something that nobody in my house would eat. you know?
Pumpernickel?
Yeah.
You're not going to be like Ezekiel bread?
I'd be a marbled rye. That'd be so delicious. It would be undoable.
Like, oh, I got this baby Swiss. Oh, and I got this rye bread. I got to eat it. You know?
Monterey cheddar. Oh, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. So a lot of
Just the
people.
experience. Oh, what'd you do yesterday? Well, it's bread for 24
Yeah, you got to
hours.
make sure you're like not out camping and all of a sudden you turn to bread because all the ants will eat you.
Yeah, that would be bad.
exactly.
So
I turned to bread around a bunch of Birds.
Darth Skywalker
exactly.
says bread easy. Frank Brown said loaf of bread. Maybe I'll finally have a nice bun. Joe Wagner says bread in bed. Bassreich passes on it. Darth Skywalker, I probably spend more than 24 hours a year at red lights. That is so true. Matt B says choosing a loaf of bread, just make sure I'm hidden really well. Exactly. Robert Arnold, my friends would torture me for the bread day, tie me over a dog or something. That's so true. I see no Jedi here says, hide myself in a bread bin once a year.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to get into a bread bin right before you're like, okay, hurry up, shut it, lock it.
That's why you need that gluten-free person or that person that doesn't like,
That's celiac
Yeah,
disease.
celiac disease.
Here, can you just put me in that thing?
Now, hold on a second. I guess I missed that part
Wrap
of
me
it. Did it say only 24 hours worth of red lights?
No. Every red light you could possibly
Rest of
hit,
your
you're gonna
life.
hit.
Rest of your,
The
okay,
rest of your
okay,
life.
good. Yeah, no. I'm
You know what I do?
Stick with my answer
I would
then.
avoid the
Loaf of bread.
lights, and I would go
Yeah.
to the stop signs.
I just,
already
I
having
just
to
do
stop.
the loaf of bread thing for the experience. Who cares? One day a year. It's like
Experience.
Cinderella,
Experience.
kind of. Not really, but
Yeah, I'm
Won't even
using
have a
that
chance to
analogy.
get dry. You'll be all right. I'll be the,
I'm honey wheat, baby.
be the most irresistible loaf of bread you'd ever seen.
The cheap. I'm Wonder Bread, mother.
Be like the 80-cent white bread that nobody really wants to eat, but you can only afford.
Oh, but I've got
There's
peanut butter.
times in your life when
And
it's
I've got
always
jelly.
None of the slices line up correctly because for out of no reason whatsoever, just sitting there on the shelf, it looks like somebody sat on it.
Oh yeah, like
the bread that's so bad that by the time you get it to your car, it's already just the air crushes it. You're like, oh.
Can I be a dry bread? No, like it's been kind
all
of sitting
wheat
out
and
for a
oat
little
bread.
while. Nobody really
Oh,
wants.
moldy
they don't
bread.
throw it away.
Yeah, there you go.
You could turn into moldy bread.
moldy
People are like,
bread.
they throw you away. Oops.
Yeah. Crap! I'm in a bag.
What is it, man? One day every year, I wake up in the trash can. Go. I actually
up
made
in
it
the
out to the landfill
What if
one
you're
time.
like not conscious during the process? You're just like I'm a loaf of bread, and then you wake up, bam. What the heck happened? Where did I end up? You know, as
that's
opposed
true.
to actually being alert during the
I
process.
don't know what happened the last 24 hours. I don't know. I don't remember anything, but somehow I feel it's 24 hours.
And
Is
then
that your second one?
yeah, that was my second one. It's on
right.
you now.
All right, it's on me.
I've read this one before, and I never picked it. I was like, why would anybody want to?
Yeah.
What the?
Why would it?
Why does that even make any sense? I
So
don't
this
get
is
it.
totally a messed up question. It's not even a fair question to ask, but
Oh,
we're
another
just
one?
going through and picking them all, right? So
Gotta catch
would you
them
rather
all.
just have, and this isn't even a properly worded question, so just forgive me in advance. Would you rather have two normal kids, or would you rather have one disabled kid and one kid in the NFL?
Oh.
I know. It's so-
Well,
Do I get to pick which kid? Wait, no.
I'd rather just have two normal kids. I don't care about
Absolutely.
having a kid in the NFL, especially now.
right, especially right now. But I mean,
But I wouldn't care if I,
I mean,
had
hey,
a
since we're
disabled
picking
kid.
and choosing, if I could have my two stepkids back, I'd pick them.
let me
Yeah.
let me play devil's advocate for a second there. So you have a kid in the NFL. He's making really good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's also humble because his brother or sister is mentally challenged or physically challenged, and that physically challenged, mentally challenged kid is taken care of as well.
I know. Yeah, Matt B's like, what kind of question is this?
I know it's a stupid
I know.
question, but I was playing a
They
little.
go
bit
there sometimes.
Oh,
It's like-
these. Well, yeah. As we did before, we went and censored all of them. There's a lot of questions that go there and then go further and then go two steps past that. So we
Frank Brown
censored
says
all those
NFL
out.
and disabled. Robert Arnold said two normal.
What if-
that was easy?
What if the kid was in the NFL and disabled?
I see no Jedi here went politically correct. He said, as long as they're both happy, either answer is right. Good for me.
Oh.
No, you can't answer that way.
got
No
to
virtue
answer
signaling on this show.
Daddy needs his retirement plan.
Oh.
Well, if you had someone that was permanently disabled, you'd really
That's
need
your
the
retirement
NFL
plan.
player to help pay for
That's
all
what
the
I'm
bills.
saying. But
I think they're assuming this question kind of cancels itself out. It's kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other. But
Exactly.
no,
That's the thing, like, if
no.
it's-
When it comes right down to it, I'd rather have two normal, well-adjusted kids
Sure.
as opposed to the weirdness of having to be an NFL. And even then, it just says he's in the NFL, so it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be like a big superstar with big,
Yeah.
big head
I think
problems.
it would be weird
but
to have a child in the NFL. That whole aspect is worse than having a disabled kid. I've taken care of a child that had mental disabilities. I've taken care of multiple children that had physical disabilities. Not a problem. Having someone that was famous or in the NFL, I think would be significantly more difficult than having a disabled child. But having
pretty rotten environment to grow up in and being around.
But having, the NFL or a disabled child, I know what it takes to do that. I would just rather go the route of just having just normal children that didn't have either one of those challenges and be able
for
to
both
focus
their
my.
sakes, I'd want normal kids.
But your child, I mean, let's face it, you're a young adult when you're in the NFL. You're not a child anymore.
You got to remember, this is a desire question. not a what kind of a human being are you question. It's just a desires question. My desire is that all my children would be normal, happy, healthy children.
What is
but if
normal?
they weren't, well, normal is defined by this question as not famous and not disabled.
Are those two things related?
And again,
by their definition, yes.
There are lots of guys in the
Not by
NFL
mine.
that are not famous. Just saying.
Yep. Yeah, I know, right? So
if they were say he's like a world famous athlete or something like that, then that's
World
a big hit and a lot of
famous.
problems and a lot of people to deal with.
he's just
and
a
lot of
regular guy
publicity and all that crap.
Who's part of the return team for the rest of his career, plays 10 years in the NFL, makes like $500,000 a year. You know, it's not too bad.
that's hilarious. I see no
Comfortable,
Jedi
but-
here finally jumped off the fence. He said, fine, too normal.
Yeah.
Joe Wagner said, can I trade the ones I have for just two normal ones? And Matt B says, hey, man, that's trafficking. You're trading your kids.
No, not like trading them out somewhere. I mean, they go to other similar parents, right? You know,
Maybe.
they might have a good, better life.
I don't know.
somewhere
After
else.
watching Unsolved Mysteries, I just...
Too much of that, right? Good grief.
Robert Arnold says, don't ask my boy this question because he's not blessed with any normal parents.
Way to self-deprecate.
So what did
I
you
like it.
officially answer? Would you
Normal
officially answer?
kids.
Normal kids?
Absolutely, two normal kids. Yeah.
Normal. I mean, that's a terrible question to put us in, but it's a desires question. I would desire to just go the path of least resistance. And
If
The
you
righteous.
desire for your child's career to be put above everything else in your life and your other disabled child, then
Yeah.
sure, go with that question. But if you want two normal kids,
you're up. Let's see. Let's get off this one. This
Europe,
one's
Paris,
terrible.
and France. All right, let's see here.
Asia.
In order for you to live, you have to.
Oh no.
Wow.
I think I've read that one too.
Oh no.
I
This
think
is
I've
one
read
I've
that
passed
one.
1,000 times.
Man.
This is wrong.
And I get stuck with it. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Fun
I'll
times.
apologize in advance. Not here to talk about the past. I'm here to look forward to a brighter future. In
right,
order to
Mark.
live, you have to kill a blind child who has the greatest voice of our generation. Not Kanye. Are you killing the kid?
Billy.
So
Sorry.
a blind child that has the greatest voice for our generation, you must murder him to live.
Yeah, in order for you to live, you have to murder a blind child with the greatest voice
I'm
for our
going to
generation.
take the bullet.
Yeah, I'm going to take the bullet. I can't put another person's life over my own.
Yep.
Correct
So-
answer.
It's a pretty stupid question. That's why I didn't see. I always liked all the ones we picked because a lot of the ones we picked were questions that we could actually elaborate on, and a lot of these were just like yes.
Ooh, messed up caveat. Would the blind child have to shoot you?
Okay, if he was given a gun, you have a 50-50 chance, don't you?
I was hoping somebody wouldn't go there, but yes.
Give him a
Good
gun,
line, yeah,
give
for
you
that.
a gun.
Yeah, right.
See who wins the
Who won that
shootout.
famous duel between you and that famous singer?
Wait till he shoots at you. Self-defense, man.
Yeah,
He shot
you
me
both,
first.
He
you
was
both
shooting
get
him.
guns, but you have to wait for him to try and shoot you first.
Gosh, like a famous duel.
So messed up. He's all
Stand
shooting over there.
sideways.
He got 3 shots, but no big deal. Sorry, dude.
It's
Just
terrible.
don't speak.
He's like, I hear you. You're like, no, I'm right here. I'm right here,
I don't know,
dude.
his sense of hearing. It just don't make a
So
sound.
messed up.
That may have made the question even worse, or it may have made it funny. I don't know. All I know is
So Nathan Haas says no. He'd
no,
take-
you don't kill the kid.
Yeah, Joe Wagner says he'd die. Frank Brown's like, guess I'm going to jail. He's killing the kid. Bass Reich said he'd die. Matt B says, yeah, not happening. He's gonna.
Yeah, you would
he's
totally
gonna
go
take
to
the bullet.
jail for that.
Skywalker's Darth Skywalker says, nah, he'd take the bullet.
I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life in jail because I killed.
I don't know though.
I see no Jedi says
Here's another caveat to that.
You wouldn't see it coming.
If as long as you said somebody's name beforehand or said that you're a peaceful protester, then pull the trigger, you're completely in the clear. You're off the hook.
Oh, dang.
Completely off the hook. No.
Well,
no
I don't like
crime
a lot of
committed
modern
whatsoever.
music, but I'm still not gonna shoot somebody, even if they are the voice of the generation.
Nate Haas says, does the blanket even know it's coming?
All right. Oh, it'd be more terrible.
Oh, that is wrong.
Look at the flowers. Just look at the flowers.
What do you mean? Look at the flowers.
Oh,
I mean, smell the
gosh.
flowers. You son of a.
Oh, wake up and smell the flowers.
Frank Brown says, bro, Darth Skywalker, we all know you'd kill the kid.
You get to tend the rabbits. I get to tend the rabbits.
I know, right? We know he'd kill the kids.
Nah, because really, when it comes right down to it, too, that question's kind of easy because then I'd go down in history as the guy who selflessly gave up his life for the blind, beautiful singer, as opposed to that a-hole.
Yeah. Why did you do
You're famous
that?
either way, right?
You're famous either way. I'd rather be a martyr.
Yeah, I just couldn't prioritize my life over another. It didn't matter who it was.
All right,
So,
I got a baseball one. Yay!
I'm not that Skywalker.
You underestimate my powers.
Don't try it.
Don't try it.
All right. Could you successfully steal a base in Major League Baseball if you had 100 attempts?
100 attempts. Now, this question, my question to you
Not
is...
right now with that hip.
Yeah. No.
I'm pretty quick on my feet.
That's
actually.
that's my question is, can we go to theoretical world of in my prime in my prime of like when I was my fastest in like
Sure, you're most
Oh, then
athletic.
yeah, that'd be easy.
in my both and I have 100 attempts. I would say in 100 attempts
about right
in my
now?
prime.
My prime was
And
only
best
about 3 years ago.
Answer both ways.
Okay, in my right now with my hip that I'm hobbling, literally hobbling.
Yes, you
hell
would totally. No, wait, come on.
They
Look, there's a blind guy playing catcher. He couldn't throw the ball to second.
yeah. I'd be like, hey, I'm over here. No, in my prime, I do think I could. I stole bases quite frequently.
This is like major league catchers.
I
They have
stole
some
bases like I was
crazy
stealing
arms.
hearts back then.
Yeah, in high school, and it was just high school, so that's nothing. But I was pretty fast, and I think if I was given 100 attempts, there would be an error at
What
some
about-
point that would allow for me to have a victory in that. Because I think that 99 out of 100 times it would be just perfection on their part, and I'd be just
You're not
decimated.
even going to like when you were training for SEALs before you fell.
No, my point is they're so perfect that 99 out of 100 times they would just throw it. It didn't matter how fast and how perfect I was, they would throw me out. This is their deal, dude. This is what they do. They're MLB. But there'd be one or two
Baseball is
times.
faster than my legs. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's one or two times where there would be an error, and I would benefit from that error and steal the base. This happens in real MLB, and I think I would play the odds, and statistically
there's
in my
less
prime.
pressure.
Law of averages, yes.
Yep, law of averages, I think in my prime that would happen. Right now, with my hobbled butt, no way, dude. I would get like 6 feet and they'd, tink me.
Well,
even at my current status, I could probably make it at least once. With 100 tries, oh yeah.
I'm assuming.
Fake them out, something like
I'm
that.
assuming you have a pitcher involved and a first baseman and second or shortstop involved as well. Otherwise, yeah.
Oh, there's some good answers in here. So, all right. So you said you think so in your prime?
In my prime, probably not. My legs are too short.
Oh, great. So no and no. And you said yes.
Even
yes
right now in
and
my
yes.
life, I could probably.
Wow. Law of averages. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose law of averages, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. 100 times.
Yep, with
Robert
100
Arnold
attempts.
says absolutely. And man, do
I might be
wanna.
passing out by the 100th attempt. I mean, do I get 100 attempts in 100 days?
Yeah, they didn't say anything about whether or not you get breaks in between, whatever. Like
geez.
you're rested up, good,
I'd be
ready to go
worn out.
each time. That'd take a while.
I would be worn out after like 2 of them.
I know,
I
right?
can't do anymore.
Frank Brown says, can I choose which pitcher I'm facing? I know, right? Joe
yeah,
Wagner,
no
first I
lefties.
signed the kid to the contract with a family as a beneficiary. He's going back to that previous question.
I'd say no lefties on the mound because if they just pick you off and then you have no chance.
Nate Haas says, no, I'm strong but not fast. That's his comfortable way of saying that he's heavy and slow.
That's the thing. Like it just says steal
He's
a
a
base.
power lifter.
So if you had a guy that was a
He
lefty,
could just grab it, pick it up, and like walk off. You didn't define how to
mine.
steal it.
knock the guy over.
He's like walking off with the first base. They're like, hey, bring that back. You can't.
Oh, you can't break it up.
have
Yeah,
that.
pull my concealed carry, shoot the pitcher, and walk casually to the base.
You can't spike the guy.
Matt B says 100 attempts. Sure, I could steal a base. He just has to quit smoking and get back into cardio first.
I'd be getting in a pickle like every single time.
Yeah.
And hope to God that I would get out of that pickle in time because there's no way I'd get there in time of the ball. I mean, some of the stuff that Javi Baez does to steal bases is pretty amazing where you're just kind of
Yeah.
swimming around it. Oh, my God.
yeah.
Like, how'd you do that?
Yeah. You must be like water.
Yeah, right.
I see no Jedi here says first time making it. I'd still be running after I killed the blind kid from the last question.
He's on the run, so he's pretty fast now.
Darth Skywalker, a 1% success rate? Yeah, he could do that. I mean, I think anybody, if they were in their prime that was decent at running, at some point there'd be a law of averages with
Maybe
with
the
an
ball
error.
gets away or he
Still
drops
pretty
it.
decent at running.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. If you want to look at it from that.
And Frank Brown, yes. I mean, they would eventually potentially make a mistake. So law of averages, they would make a mistake. And Robert Arnold says, breaking the ball in the dirt, I'd have a chance. Because, yeah, when he pitches, at some point a pitch would go wide or break or a drop ball or something, and you'd be able to get out.
That's a pass ball, though. That's not a...
Joe Wagner says he's too big a target, though, but he'd give it a shot. That'd be fun to watch, man. Fun to watch. All right.
Well, because most
that
pitchers,
was yours?
don't they pull out most pitchers around that 100 pitch count, or at least
Yeah.
when they start getting close to
Usually.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it would be over time. You have to recover for each one.
You'd have a better shot at stealing on a relief pitcher than you would a
This is a
starting pitcher.
terrible question. It's hilarious, but it's a terrible question.
Yeah, we must be getting to the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah. This is a good one, actually. I like this one. It's like a would you rather.
Aren't they
Would you
all?
rather forever, for the rest of your life, be on stilts, or forever for the rest of your life have foam fingers on each hand?
I'm
Have
gonna go
to
with
wear
stilts.
foam fingers on your hand or be on stilts.
I'm gonna go
and
with
then,
stilts.
And then my question to you is why? So don't just say what, but say
Well,
why.
here's the thing. If I was on stilts the rest of my life, I'd probably have to take up a career as a drywaller. Because, what else would you really ever
Especially
use?
getting indoors, you wouldn't be. I mean, every door is built like 8 foot
Every door
tall
would be a-
max.
yeah.
Well, they do
exactly.
make those spring stilts.
Well, but you'd also have crazy good balance. So, I mean, like if for some fluke chance the spell was broken and you suddenly got off them, I mean, you'd just be crazy balanced all the time. So, I mean, that's kind of...
Nada says, "Can I take them off to wipe?" I didn't think of that. You'd have to figure out how to
Otherwise-
poop standing
I was
up.
to say otherwise, the foam fingers would be great. I could have a career in comedy, and I think the ladies would still be.
You don't
want to
wipe your-
fingers, so I think there's probably a kind of a more win-win on the foam hands as opposed to
You don't want to wipe with foam.
You know what,
hands.
because I
though?
hate drywalling. Drywall
It
mud's
doesn't
no fun.
say
doing the
how
ceiling part.
tall the stilts have to be,
Right.
just that they have to be stilts.
Hey, they're not old fashioned necessarily, even though the guy in
Oh,
the picture.
well, if
has
that's the case,
old-fashioned
then I'll
ones.
take a good, I'll take an extra 5 inches. I'll be, I'll round myself off in that
Yeah,
6
I'll
foot
just wear
5
the
range. Why
Tom
not?
Cruise risers that he wears in boots. No big deal. I'm on stilts. No, they have spring ones that you do jumps and flips. They
It also doesn't say how
yeah.
big the foam fingers would have to be either.
True.
So they could be like a
I'm just saying,
miniature
it
version
sounds
of foam
horrible, but
fingers.
there's options for both. I mean, there
you
are
do this all
career
the time to
paths
people.
with
Be like-
foam fingers and stilts.
I had a foam finger once because I drew the image on the foam finger and it gave me a free
sounds
one.
like a story time going awry.
And I had it sticking out of my backpack, like something that doesn't look like a finger. And they're kind of small, like average size, like foam fingers and stuff. But yeah, you
Yikes.
just wanted to, poke at people the whole time with it. That's all you want to do.
Got something hanging from your nails. Gonna get that for you?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of
Frank Brown, he's quoting you. I'll take an extra 5 inches. SureShot 2020.
An extra 5 inches where?
I know, right?
top of
Stilts.
my
Joe
head.
Wagner says stilts. He's used to heights. Robert Arnold says people would pay to watch me build Challengers either way. That's true. He does build Challengers up in Canada. Dodge Challengers.
the shuttle. No.
No.
What's your success rate?
Oh,
He would
ouch.
seriously have
Too
to say
soon?
stilts, Matt B does. And technically the question doesn't say how high they are. See,
Challenger did have the high ground. Didn't turn out well.
Matt B and I were thinking the same way as far as height and stuff. I see no Jedi here stilts because he's 5'7". He needs as much help.
Hey, all
as he
those
could
shallow
get.
girls that didn't like you because you weren't 6 feet tall.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Well, look at me now.
Look at me now, ladies.
I'm like Tom Cruise, only you can see the stilts this time.
Interesting. Frank Brown says he'd do foam fingers because nobody said anything about whether you could make holes in the tips or how long the fingers are. So,
And like I
it
said,
would
you'd
just
have a
be like-
career in comedy, no problem.
That's true. Interesting. I think
Salad
I would
fingers?
do
No.
stilts, and then I would just do like 6-inch stilts,
Yeah, something like that.
and I'd have them like permanently affixed to my calves
Fused
and
in.
stuff. And yeah,
You'd never have to worry about stepping on Lego bricks again, glass, walking around barefoot.
I'd have them cool looking too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, "What's up?"
So am I. So am I.
I see no Jedi here says he's Tom Cruise height. I'm sorry.
So am I. So am I.
Hey, that's okay. He's Tom. Tom Cruise is still an action star. Apparently, people still like him.
As long as
Has
you're,
nothing to do
as
with
long as
that.
you're not a Scientologist, you're
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, how short he is has nothing to do with how horrible of a person he is. But it's kind of neither.
I
here
don't
nor
know the
there.
guy, so I can't say whether he's a horrible person or not.
He's really good at running.
Yeah,
So he might be able to steal base.
running from his
I would
problems.
think he could.
Um,
He runs a lot. Running,
running. It's Europe.
Let's not go there. All right. So if you see the picture of this, it's one of those
Starter jackets?
Starter jackets.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
hated those. I thought they were ugly back then. I still think they're ugly now. I never understood why they were such a big deal. They're stupid. Which team's starter jacket did you wear when you were younger?
Magic.
Because see, and they were so stinking popular, they assumed that
Magic.
everybody wore one of these.
Magic.
Magic.
Orlando Magic.
Oh yeah, Magic.
I had Orlando Magic. That was during the Shaq Penny
I got
era.
offered one of these a couple of times, and since we were thrifty people and shopped at Goodwill and Salvation Army, I saw a lot of them. My mom kept on asking me, "Do you like this jacket? It's in really good shape. It's brand new." And I'm like, "No."
Starter jacket's like a pullover that's kind of a swishy jacket.
Yep.
But a little bit like heavier in a sense in the inside where it feels like
Too
a winter
poofy
coat.
to be attractive, not warm enough to be worthwhile.
Yeah, they have the little area here, a little pouch here for
Yep.
your pocket and your hands. They have a pocket right here and then hands. And then they got a hood and a zip up. It's kind of like a half zip. And they got your sports.
Darth Skywalker says, "What's that?" And
That's
honestly,
awesome. I'm glad you don't know. I don't know if I can get that any closer to the camera there for you, but it's a
stupid hoodie.
it's an
basically.
ugly,
I wore it for 1
poofy
year.
pullover jacket.
Nate Haas had one. Yay!
It's kind
Someone
of
had
like
one.
it's kind of like rain slicker material, but like not nearly as
Like
effective.
it's a swishy jacket that is a little heavier underneath that you wear for the wintertime. It has a hood and it has like feels kind of like a hoodie, but it's
Cool.
kind of oversized.
Oh yeah,
Sounds
and
expensive.
I say, and they were always way too expensive because they had a
Yeah.
sports logo on it.
Yeah.
Nate Haas had a Dallas Cowboys one. What's wrong with you,
would.
Nate? You would. Glorified hoodie, yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Brown said none. Parents never bought me one. And
Parents just don't understand.
I was too cheap to buy one. I would have had one for Cornhuskers, Nebraska Cornhuskers. If I could have had one, I would have had one for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But I didn't.
You might have been too old for that.
Well, I was also the kind of
That
guy
was
that
a
when it
fad.
came to hoodies, I had to have a zip up. I never liked having to pull it over my head
Well, it's a
because it
pullover
would
with
mess
a
my
half
hair
zip.
up.
It zips like this far. Oh, because it's hot. I just want to.
Frank Brown says you wouldn't be able to wear one of those in winter over here.
I wore it in the
Probably
winter in
not.
Illinois, so
Oh,
1 year though.
Nate said the reason why he wore Cowboys was because his dad forced him to like what he liked. Ooh. Now we know. Now we know
Yeah.
why.
I mean, I had a Shaq jersey, and then I bought the
But that didn't build up any
I
resentment
bought
or
the
animosity,
Orlando
though, did
Magic.
It?
Joe Wagner says they didn't exist back then.
It was all the rage in junior high back in the day.
Back in
That's
1937,
what's funny about it. I was literally
when I was a child,
I was at that perfect age and time
37.
for those stupid things. Like he was probably too old to wear one.
Joe
and he
Wagner,
might
I
have
think
been
you're
right
what,
around the cusp, too young to wear
48?
one.
Too young
I'm
to wear
guessing
one.
Joe Wagner
they were
somewhere
very
between
popular.
Super
47
popular.
and 52.
They were super popular
That's
for
my
like
guess.
1 year, 1 or 2 years. I mean, basically like my 7th and 8th grade, those were popular and then never popular again after that.
Because
Well,
it was.
they hung on through my high
Whoa!
school years, unfortunately.
I guessed Joe Wagner's age and I was off. I said 48 to 52 ish, and he said 59. So I was off by a decade.
Yeah, you're too old for a starter. Unless you're, no.
Yeah, you're definitely that was a generation after you, Joe.
Let's talk
for
about
sure.
Zoomies or whatever, the Zumbas.
And then Frank Brown says Montreal, Canada, because he said it was too cold for up there. He had negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which thanks for doing a stupid American conversion. Appreciate that.
Thanks for switching to Imperial for a second.
Yeah. Since the rest of the world's in Celsius, I do appreciate you going to
Since
America.
the rest of the world's doing the smarter, easier version.
Yeah. Don't think they made it over to England, unfortunately, says Icy No Jedi. I don't know if they did or not, but
Well, for all of you
Probably
not. Well, you
people
guys-
who are from different lands, you're welcome.
yeah. It's essentially a glorified hoodie. That was basically what it was.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
And
like
I
a
moved
running
on to a
jacket,
hoodie.
like one of those swishy sprinter jacket.
I moved on to a
materials.
hoodie after that, a real one. So
Yep.
a zip up one with the insulation.
I was always a hoodie fan back in the day. I never did the starter jackets.
So I never liked hoodies or sweaters or anything like that because I always got hot. So I always wore shorts and a t-shirt year round, literally year round. And my mom would be like, "Take a jacket," and I'd be like, "Okay," and then I would just leave with shorts and a t-shirt. I never, nothing. The whole childhood, never wore a jacket, even in winter.
They said he kept his pigs in the pouch. Pogs.
Pogs.
I kept my pogs in the pouch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
How'd you keep your slammers from clanking?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Pogs.
Everybody's like, "What are pogs?"
Pogs was like, that was middle school. That was like 5th and 6th grade.
Yeah.
Pogs.
I had a Pog collection. It was minuscule because it didn't take me very long to realize this game's pretty boring.
Yeah. Now, like I said, a lot of these things are fads for about a year.
Yeah.
I kind of hated the
lot of
fact that
fads.
I was at that age and I actually fell into some of those for a year. But it happens. All right. So, which two of the Holy Trinity of life with your friends? Which two of the Holy Trinity of life with your friends, drinking, watching sports, eating tons of food, would you keep if you had to lose one?
They have a much different definition of the Holy Trinity than I do.
I know.
I was like,
It threw me off. That's why I was reading it twice.
question.
I was reading it twice because I'm like, Holy Trinity.
I'm
what are
too
you
good of a
talking
Christian, I guess.
So you gotta,
Where's Wonder Woman and Batman?
it sounds
No.
like you got to give up one of those three things.
Yeah.
So name the three things you got to give one of
drinking,
them. Watching
sports,
or
and eating tons of food.
You got to lose one.
Tons of food though. Like
Eating tons of food is fun, I guess. Watching sports or drinking. I just give up drinking.
but drinking what?
Or watching sports. I could give up watching sports, honestly.
I can't give up drinking water. It's
Yeah.
the nectar of
They-
life.
Yeah, but drinking is assumptive
I
of
know.
alcohol. I could give up drinking.
We're trying to make this PG.
And I will hope that
All right.
sports come back around.
That's
to
funny. I enjoy all of them to a certain extent, but I could get rid of all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
guess.
but no, I would say across the board the easiest one because I think I definitely enjoy alcohol more than I enjoy sports these days. So yeah, sports. See you later.
Alcohol.
Robert Arnold says, "Bye-bye drinking."
And I've
Ferg
always
was
been
there, I
I've
would
always been the
disagree,
kind of
though.
guy that eats to live. I don't live to eat. Food is not like an enjoyable thing for me. Usually, it's something I have
Unless
to do.
it's
so I
donuts
don't fall
before
over
live
and die.
streaming. Then
Nobody
it's
wants to
amazing.
give up food. Bassreich says drinking. Mappy says watching sports. Good job, brother. Darth Skywalker drinking for sure. I see no Jedi says watching sports and drinking. I'd keep eating eat tons of food for sure. Nathan says watching sports today makes me want to drink, so I don't know.
Exactly.
Answer. That's the best one right there. What was the question again? Joe Wagner says.
I'm a Chicago sports fan. So
If you had to give
they go
up
hand in hand.
something.
Yeah, from what they consider to be the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity for them is eating tons of food with your friends, watching sports with your friends, and what was it?
Drinking
And
with your
drinking alcohol with your friends. What would you give up? Revenator says, I never drank, so that was easy. And Bass Reich's
That was
laughing.
easy.
I don't believe you, Bass Reich. I don't believe you're laughing out loud, like we're laughing out loud.
Currently, right
Send
now.
us a video.
I don't believe it.
I don't remember which one. Now we're laughing out loud.
Yeah, they're laughing out loud.
all the way out loud.
I was thinking it was this one for some reason, but
No,
no, not that one.
touch it, touch it. Oh, that is laughing.
Hey.
That is laughing. You were right.
I was right.
Oh, and Bad Sykes says we were wrong. He was laughing out loud. I knew
You're
it.
wrong. He
went there, so went there.
Okay, it's your turd.
You should follow Bassreich on Twitter, by the way. He's a fun dude to follow on Twitter. I follow him on
If I was on Twitter, I would.
On the Twitter. On the Tweety.
Twitter?
Yes, on the Twitter. It's
tweet
fun
it.
to follow on the Tweety.
Hey, ellipsis.
You could
What's
do that.
this tweetisness?
Yes, on the Tweety. Joe Wagner, sports and food. And then salts. Smiled a little, then
We're gonna be
stopped.
trading in salts soon.
Salts. That's the new acronym instead of LOL. Smile a little, then stopped. Salts. More accurate than LOL.
Sounds very condescending.
Yeah.
Shallow and
Oh,
pedantic.
salts.
salts. I feel salts.
But thanks, though. I'm going to use that forever.
I thought about laughing. You're like,
I thought about laughing, but then I stopped.
it's not new. It's just a joke.
It's just
Well,
a
it's
phase.
new to me.
It'll be over soon.
All right, these are our last
Yeah.
ones. Okay, another sports one.
They just really, they spark.
How would you? I'm glad I don't have to answer this one because I don't even know.
How would you though?
How would you rank the 4 major sports playoffs? Like, which one's the best, the second best, third best, and fourth
Well, I
best?
can tell you what they're ranked off
Basketball,
of ratings.
football, soccer, and
You want me to do it?
yes.
All
I
right.
say he'd know better than I would, but I can tell you right now which one's ranked highest to lowest.
Super Bowl is ranked number 1
Absolutely.
because, well, guess what? There's not
Most viewed.
Yeah, it's most viewed, but I'm talking about from my own personal perspective. There's
Okay.
less games to have to go through because there's not series.
Yeah.
It's just one game.
Yep.
And
Well,
then
hockey
baseball,
has
because I'm a big
baseball beat for amount of
person,
games.
I love baseball, even though there's a million games to go through. And I would say everything else is kind of just throw up in the air at this point because I don't really.
Wow, that wasn't
No.
a very good
I would
answer.
say as far as actual
This
TV
is American
ratings go,
perspective too. Sorry,
we had
everybody
the
else.
Super Bowl. Then it would probably be a tie or at least a close first, second, and third for World Series and Stanley Cup. And then it would definitely go to basketball. I'm sorry, that just doesn't have the ratings that the other three do.
I knew Deserob would say hockey first, of course, Robert. Robert says hockey, baseball, then hockey again,
What would you rank?
and then
It doesn't
baseball
say what the
again.
world would rank, and it doesn't say what.
As far as
How
like
would you
actual,
rank
as
the
far
four
as
major
actual
sports?
TV ratings,
Playoffs.
No, it just says what you would rank.
right? I would
How would
rank.
you
Right,
rank
I
the
was,
four
I was
sports?
going off of TV
Playoffs.
ratings.
That's
I was just
completely
saying for the
different.
sake of argument, I think TV ratings, as far as that goes, would be number 1 Super Bowl, and then
surprised.
tied or close for second for both World Series and Stanley Cup,
World
and
Cup.
then whatever the basketball one is.
So I think I agree with Nathan, with the exception of soccer and basketball, because, well, for America, it would go football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and I think he's right. But soccer in the world,
Yeah, it's number
it
one
would
in the
go.
world.
It would go soccer number 1,
And
Yeah.
football.
then baseball number 2.
I don't know, baseball
then
had a
basketball, and then
fallout for a
football
while.
last for international because nobody else plays
Oh.
football.
International.
Yeah, internationally.
Well, I don't know. They're going into Europe these days.
But other places do
NFL.
play baseball. Lots of places play baseball and then
World Series,
basketball. But basketball and baseball are kind
Yeah.
of 50-50.
If we're talking about of the world, that changes things because the
American
rest of the world is
terrible.
kind of like apparently that boring, and they like to watch people kick a ball back and forth on a field and get huffy and puffy and overdramatic.
I see no Jedi here. I ignored his first comment, so he's jumping back in. He's like, because he was all soccer. Yeah,
World
soccer.
number one.
Yeah,
So he's all World Cup number one.
For some weird reason, the rest of the world other than America really likes soccer, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, and then Darth Skywalker went all
Golf,
the way. He
number one.
UEFA Championship League, World Cup, Super Bowl, then the NBA Finals.
I mean,
Oh,
right
NBA
now,
finals. That's what
right
it's
now,
called. Yeah.
I don't care about any of it.
The
Exactly.
NBA Finals.
Right now, it could all just burn for all I care.
We can't all be winners. USA number one.
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm English?
When it's just to
Salt?
upset the
Salt?
social justice warriors, I will definitely chant the USA. Otherwise, I do think it sounds a little bit cheesy.
USA.
It's only fun when it's in
USA.
wrestling. USA. We used to chant that crap. It
Yeah.
was like Hulk Hogan versus like the Iron Sheik or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. USA.
My brother used to love watching like WWE and stuff like that in the 80s.
It's good times.
I used to make fun of
This
him.
is why me and Andrew get along so well.
Yep, that's true.
I'm surprised
All
he
right.
hasn't put me in a Scorpion Deathlock or something.
Yep, he could too. You're up,
Boston
young
King
man.
crap.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So
Oh, it's
to round us off here, this is an interesting picture.
this will be a good one.
Who would win in a street fight? Michael Vick or Tim Tebow?
Well,
That's not even a.
who's got a dog in this fight?
That's not even a question. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I've seen the two of them. I've seen how big they are. I'll see where you guys go with this first, but I already know the answer to that.
Well, it's Tim Tebow because he'll throw the Lord at him, and then it'll just stop the entire fight because he'll come to Christ.
it depends. I think that Michael Vick would fight unfairly.
Oh,
So I think he literally.
Would he be fighting with one of his illegal dogs?
Yeah, I think
saying.
he would
He's got a
use
dog
one
in
of his
his fight.
illegal dogs. I think he'd fight unfairly. I think he'd, like poke in the eyes and do stupid stuff. Whereas I think Tim Tebow would try and like be honorable and
Just
like
celebrity death
follow the
match.
rules. And it should be celebrity death match, but like Tim Tebow would be like, I'm not gonna hit him in the nuts,
well, they both can run quite a bit, so I'm not sure who's going to stay still long enough to take a punch or even deliver
But I
one.
think of the two, they're both equally yoked athletically. So I think
These
they
days, Tim Tebow's got Michael Vick beat for sure.
Well,
Hands
'cause he's
down.
in baseball,
Sorry.
and Michael Vick's retired, but
yeah.
Michael Vick's also they're both.
I would
doing
throw my
announcing
hat
now,
in
so-
for Tim Tebow just because.
Is this before or after Michael Vick?
Well, and
got
here's
arrested?
the thing. Here's the thing. I'll give it to the Michael Vick fans out there. Yes, he would fight dirty. He would do street rules. He
Yeah.
would gouge. He would all the horrible things. If they would both go full blown street fighter, street rules or whatever, I would still go with Tim Tebow. But under a normal set of circumstances, knowing their personalities, oh yeah, Michael Vick for sure.
If they were playing the game Street Fighter, I'd probably still go with Michael Vick.
It's a street fight. Oh yeah, it said street fight, so there would be no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
so definitely Michael Vick. In that
Will he have a
situation.
muzzle? Joe Wagner asks. It's a street fight, so it's unfair. So he's saying Vic.
I mean,
see no
I think
Jedi.
anybody forced into a situation like that, like I generally wouldn't go street. Well, I don't know.
No.
Darth
I would probably
Skywalker
still
says
Tim
Tebow.
Tebow's too good of a guy.
Yeah,
he just
too good
doesn't
of a
want to
guy.
fight.
And then Nathan Haas says Tebow would say to him, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine?" That's right. I don't know these dudes, so I shall pass.
Oh Lord.
Good one, Nate. Good one.
No, but I think there's a lot of caveats to that. But I think if we're talking straight street rules, then yeah, Michael Vick probably would. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Tebow would stoop that low.
Tim Tebow would be like, "Hey, man, back off. Let's
Can we
talk about this."
instead?
And he'd be all punched.
Let's
in the
both
nuts.
take a
But
knee.
they're
let's both take
fighting
a
like
knee
right
here.
now. I mean, Tim Tebow is much younger and much. I think he's probably in better shape than Michael Vick at
He's
this point.
younger and in better shape right now. And honestly, if they got in a street fight, like he just came up and started punching at him and stuff, I really do think Tim Tebow could have the better of him. He's just so much more ethical. I think
Yeah.
that Vic would
Good of a
do
guy.
terrible things like eye gouging and
But
nut
Vic's doing
punching.
better, you know.
Sticking
He was
pit
forgiven
bulls
for
on
his
you,
dog
yeah.
fights, and that's all we ever knew him from. He didn't get into a bunch of fights. He wasn't no Aaron Hernandez or something. He didn't, get arrested.
I would rather watch him try to play hockey.
Yeah, Robert.
There you
I think it
go.
would be more entertaining to try and watch me try and play hockey.
Actually, they'd both be really good at soccer. The
I love
speed that
watching
they have.
hockey, and then when like one of the hockey players like goes by and there's like the camera and the camera's like filming them and they're like kind of in between like a play and they kind of go by the camera and they like look at the camera and realize the camera's like panning on them and they look over to the camera and see it and they like smile and they're like and you see all their like missing teeth and you're like, oh my God, He's missing like 4 teeth, and
flowing
they don't even care. And I'm like, holy crap, they must have a good dental plan.
Hey, that's a stereotype. Not all hockey players are missing teeth because most of them probably have enough money to get veneers put in. But no,
you don't do the veneers until afterwards. I mean,
Exactly.
you let them get knocked out.
Well, they get to, take those out and go play some hockey.
Exactly. Yeah, Tim Tebow is a big dude right now. Honestly, I follow him on Twitter, and he's in really good shape.
Ever since
right now.
football, since he's only gotten bigger.
Yeah, he's a baseball player now.
Frank Brown says only 4 must be a rookie. Huh? For what? 4 cards? For what? What? Frank Brown? What?
What are you talking about?
Wort. That reminds me of Halo. Wort. I loved Halo so much.
Love sticky grenade or sticky bombs.
Yeah. Wort.
Guys, last one.
Teeth. Oh, yeah, only 4. He must be a rookie. Yeah, everybody.
Duh.
I didn't even know what the heck I was talking about, and I'm the one that brought it up. Frank Brand's like, geez.
Should have caught that.
I know. I'm already on to the next thing.
Done. On
Nate,
the next.
Frank, Darth, Joe, they're all like, come on, Warrior, you idiots.
Oh,
Come on, guy.
Oh.
Boiling Point. This was a fun
come on,
UFC.
guy.
This was a fun UFC, actually.
Yes.
Yes. This was when Frank Mir
Yeah.
fought. Frank Mir.
All right.
It was a good fight. So
turn us
looks
down?
like we're going to story time. Story time. Welcome. Story time. So we're gonna do the story about when Warrior got way more alcohol than he ever needed to get. So I have a friend. His name is Scott. Yeah, I have a friend. Congratulations. All right, let me mute his mic. No.
Let's just turn that right on.
I'm just gonna bring him down just a little.
Fine. I'll just play on my new smartphone.
Yeah. So had a friend. His name was Scott, and we were hanging out a lot during this period of my life. This was a few years back. I would say it was 5 or 6 years ago. And I was living out in Whitewater, Colorado, and he actually... This was 8 years ago, my goodness, because I was in between. This was in between me working at Sleep Number and as a cop. So yes, this would have been 8 years ago. Wow, I am dating myself. Good Lord. Yeah, Joe Wagner's like, bring on the alcohol. So anyway, this was about 8 years ago. And I was running a nonprofit I had created. That's another story time. But I started up a nonprofit. I was giving away free rides. I drove like drunks home from the bar at nighttime. I gave away free rides to people that needed to get to doctor appointments and things like that. And we did that for a few years, my wife and I. It was really actually quite fun. But while we were running that nonprofit, I had a friend of mine. His name was Scott, and he was like, he was really involved in his own personal business, and he would often call me and say, hey, can you help me move stuff here or there with, like he had a big business truck, and he would like get paid to move stuff, like maybe a safe or this or that. Well, anyway, he called me and he said, hey man, can you help me today? And I was like, sure, what do you need? And he goes, I got a safe I have to move. I said, okay, that sounds heavy, but I'll help you. And he said, sure. He said, I can, give you, some free alcohol or something if you want. And I was like, no, I don't need any alcohol. And he's like, cause we're going to a liquor store, and I think the owner might give me some alcohol as part of the payment for moving his safe. And I was like, okay, but I don't need any of it, really. Well, we show up and he has a big box truck, right? Like a very large box truck. You open it up and it's a huge box truck. And we pull up in front of the alcohol store, and it's going out of business. Actually had gone out of business, and they had an auction that weekend, and the auction didn't do too well, unfortunately. So the liquor store had bunches of shelves, and the shelves were still full of liquor. And a lot of it was gone, but there were still lots that hadn't been gone, like a lot of wines, a lot of hard liquors, and a lot of stuff still. And they, I guess, had expected that the auction over the weekend was going to sell pretty much everything, and it didn't. And so he had already planned on another individual buying the shelves for that Monday. And so the auction was supposed to sell out everything. And then on Monday, this other person was going to come and buy the shelf units.
They're being smart and trying to plan it out. First, we'll sell the alcohol, then the shelves will be empty, then we can take them all down. Perfect. Yeah,
exactly.
I can see the reasoning.
Yeah. And so he figured, okay, these guys are going to come on Monday, pick up their shelf units or whatever. Well, we show up Monday morning to move the safe, which was just another part of the planning preparation of this liquor store going out of business. So we get there to move the safe. We go to the back of the room. We start loading up the safe. We get it into the truck. And while we're leaving, we hear this huge argument. Like, it sounds like someone's, going to get in a big fight. And we kind of like listen, because that's what you do, right? When someone's about to get into a fight, you like pay attention. You're like, what's going on?
Chance to rubberneck. All right.
Yeah, a chance to rubberneck. What's going on? It's the people who who they already paid for these shelves. And they were told they could pick their shelves up on Monday morning. So they're there Monday morning and they want their shelves, and they can't get their shelves because their shelves are still full of liquor that didn't sell. And so we were just like, wonder if let's come up with a solution. So when I was outside, I was like, I told my friend Scott, I'm like, hey, I got a solution. He goes, what? I go, I bet if we offer to him to do the labor, that's free for him. If we do the labor, if we just take all the liquor off his hands, it's stuff that didn't sell anyway, so it's trash to him. If we just give him a few $100, it's like wholesaled. We'll just give him a few $100 and we'll just take all the liquor off the shelves for him, for his benefit. And then the guy can come back in like an hour and take a shelving unit, and it will solve their problem that they're literally fighting. Cause he's literally like, I'm taking these shelves, I'm going to throw the liquor off and I'm going to bust all the liquor off. I mean, he's literally like yelling, like, I'm taking these shelves unit now. And I was like, let's give him a solution. So I came in front of the fight, like I said, hey, I've got a solution for you. I'll give you $200. You don't have to pay me at all to do the labor. I'll do the labor for free. I'll give you $200 and we'll clear all the liquor out of this liquor store for you into the box truck. It'll be gone in an hour. And he was like, $400, you have an hour, make it happen.
It sounds like a terrible deal. I'm going to get completely hosed on this one. Okay.
And so he was just like, and my friend Scott looked at me and he was like, okay. So we like ran around and there was a ATM right next door. And then we walked outside and he's like, I can't even believe you freaking went with that. And so we went around and we like each pulled out $200, ran over, paid him really quick before he could like change the oral deal. And we just started loading into his box truck all the liquor. And then
as quick as you can without breaking.
And then as fast as we had like started loading, he realized, oh, this wasn't a good idea. So he started grabbing boxes because he had boxes everywhere. He grabbed boxes and he started going behind his own counter and he started loading up his own liquor and started taking it to his car with like his favorite liquor that had not been. I was like, dude, we paid for this. Like, you can't load your liquor up.
Get away from the top shelf.
He's like, oh, I'm just grabbing the stuff that I was planning on grabbing. You have everything else for $400. Leave me alone. And I was like, whatever. So
each one of these bottles are worth $500.
He's like, you have an hour. You just need to hurry up and get this crap out of here. So, and then
I'm taking the Cristal with me.
Yeah. So I had told basically, yeah. So I told
Harrison Ford.
I know, right? So I told the guy that needed the shelves, come back in an hour. They'll be clear. And he was like, they better be clear in an hour. So he left. And so we were loading this box truck up and getting this liquor out. We were hustling, man. We were hustling. I didn't even know what we had. We just were like, and we loaded it all up. We got the entire liquor store completely emptied. All of it. Every ounce of the liquor was gone between us and then him hustling, trying to get what he wanted. He was loading up some beer. He was loading up some hard liquor. He was like, he was like,
last minute,
Crown.
Like, wait, crap.
He was like, I'm taking the Crown. He's like loading up all the Crown liquor. And anyway, it was hilarious. But we just got it all in the box truck. But it was a massive box truck. It was like a 24-foot box truck by like 12 foot wide by 24 foot long. And we got the whole thing.
They only go 8 foot wide.
It was like, or whatever. It was huge. It's a big, huge box truck, and you would know better than me, but it was big. And then we drove it back.
A few too many times.
Yeah. So we take it back to his storage unit so we can like distribute it. And I had you remember my old GMC truck probably, but it was an 8-foot bed in my GMC truck. And
that's a 4-door too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a 1-ton truck. And we sat there that evening for like 3 hours. And what we did was I would go like, there's 2 of these bottles. They're the same. You get one, I get one. And we would put it in the back of my truck and put it in the back of his truck. There's 2 of these bottles, same thing. 2 of these bottles, same thing. 2 of these bottles, same thing. And we just literally divided up the alcohol. And I filled the entirety of my bed of my truck. I mean, every square inch of the truck was filled to its brim. 8-foot bed of truck. Then we topped it with a whole nother 8-foot bed of truck. Like I had 2 levels of alcohol. 8-foot bed of my truck was completely
Meanwhile,
packed.
The suspension's groaning.
Front to back, 8-foot bed truck, completely full. No, it was a 1-ton. We were fine. Yeah. And then I filled it front to back. Now we had boxes, so it was all in boxes, but it was too deep. And then I had the back seat that I had to put the rest of it in, because it was like a 6-seater, you said, 4 doors. And we put all the rest in the back seat and then in the passenger front seat. And then he was like, what do you want to do with these last like 3 boxes that are yours or whatever? And I'm like, you can just have them. And he was like, okay. So I went to the house. Deal. My wife knew I left to help him. And I'm like, I pull up to the front door of the house in Whitewater. I go, you got to come out here. And she's like, what's going on? And I said,
I ended up
need to show you something.
A lot more money today than I planned on. Let me just say that.
I spent a couple $100 today, but it was a good buy. And she's like, what'd you buy? And I was like, you got to come see it. So she comes outside and she's looking at the back of the truck, 8-foot bed filled too high. And the whole back of the truck is just completely filled with random liquor. And she's like, what are we going to do with all of this? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's worth at least $10,000 or more. I don't even know.
My first thought was something like that. Is like, I'm not that much of an alcoholic that I'm freaking out going like, oh my gosh, I'm going to drink myself to death. But it's like something about that still, like knowing how much that's worth and knowing that you can have your pick of the liquor or whatever. Plus you can have plenty of parties. You can give it away to friends. You can sell it for super cheap, whatever. But it's like all that still has this kind of like that, like, ooh, giddy. Like, yeah, I'm cleaning out a store legally. This is awesome.
So of course what I did was I drug it all downstairs. It took me like 2 hours to offload this stuff down into the family room downstairs, huge family room downstairs. At that house, we had a really big house down there. And then I sorted all of it into beer in one section, hard liquor in another section, and then wine in another section. And then I was like, I don't know anything about wine. So I actually looked up wines and I found out like there is a full spectrum of white wines, blushes, red wines. There's like dry, fruity, there's like a full, so I was like learning about them and then I was like pairing them up. I'm like, okay, these are white wines. They're dry. These are going to go in this box. These are white wines. They're moderate. They're going to go in a box. These are fruitier white wines. They're going to go in a box. And I was labeling
red
them.
Wines, throw those away.
My wife's like, you can't just leave this liquor laying around out down here. We got kids. Like we were doing foster care at the time. We had like 8 children living in the home. She's like, you got to lock this crap up. So I had to go buy a lock the very next day. We had a closet that was underneath the staircase. So we had to lock that up and we had to put all that liquor tightly stored inside of that closet. And I had this liquor cabinet, which was a storage closet filled with liquor. And then for the next few years, we would have like liquor parties where people would come over and we'd pull like a box of wine out. We'd pull all the different wines out and we'd let everybody taste test the wines. And then whatever wine they liked the most,
they could have it.
Take it! It's yours! And they're like, are you serious? I can have this? That's amazing.
Whole bottle, here's 4 more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you really like that? Chunk, chunk. Chunk. They're like, oh my gosh. And yeah,
we had these great juice bottles. I don't know what we're going to do with these.
I know. And then Connie, my wife, uses all the wines that we don't like for cooking because she likes to use wines for cooking. So she uses a bunch for cooking and then the rest of it, but the hard liquor, a lot of the hard liquor was crap. So if anybody uses any particular hard liquor, we would give it away to them for whoever likes what. But a lot of people benefited from that. And I'll tell you, I definitely have drank way more than $200 worth. And I still to this day have a shelf unit out in my garage with 4 shelves of liquor. And I still have hard liquor. And I mean, I still have, this is like 8 years later. Wow. And I probably still have a couple $1,000s of liquor out in my garage. And I don't even know what to do with it because it's like liquor I don't drink.
Mm-hmm. Stuff that you might even sip on once in a great while, but even then it's like, yeah, a whole bottle might last you
But
a
it's
year.
like liquor, so it's like it's worth money, but I'm like, I don't drink it, but so I'm like looking for the right person that's like, oh wow, that's cool, I would drink that. And I'm like, there you go.
For the upcoming civil unrest and for the end of the world, this can be a great bartering tool, so hang on to it.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, you know what?
Lots of great survival
you never
uses
know.
For 80 proof.
Somebody would be like, well, I'll take that. And I'm like, well, do you have 50 rounds of 5.56?
Yeah, right.
Here you go.
Yeah, it might be a good bartering tool.
Happened to get a 357 off somebody recently. You got a box of shells for that? Okay.
So anyway, that is the crazy story of how I acquired. Literally, I have no idea how much that alcohol was worth, but I can only imagine. I mean, I was picking up bottles of wine, and the liquor store was labeling their wine, and of course, it's retail pricing. But I had bottles of wine that said, $29.99, and I had 200 bottles like that. I had liquor that, hard liquor that was brandy that said $79.99 for brandy. Like, I still have that bottle of brandy. I have weird alcohol I've never seen before that was like $79.99 or $60 or, I still have those bottles. Like, it was at least $10,000 worth of liquor I got for $200. It was like, I just couldn't pass it up. No matter how much of a non-alcoholic individual I am, how much a good
deal's a good deal.
Yeah. So it was one of those things. It was like, I just can't pass this up. I'm going to help this guy out. I'm going to get my half. We're going to see what we want. We're going to give away a ton of it. And then I'll be sitting on it probably for eternity. But it's ironic because I drink scotch, and there was like almost no scotch in the entire thing. That's what sold at the auction was like scotch and beer. And so there was like no IPAs, no scotch. And so I buy IPA and scotch still to this day. So if I drink anything, I still buy.
Yeah, you don't go to the anymore.
Like, dang it. Yeah, I did have some scotch. It was the scotch in the plastic bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, ugh, yeah, not so good. Well, I know. Joe Wagner says figures.
Yeah, you got the triple distilled stuff. This is the half distilled stuff.
Well, I appreciate everybody for hopping on. It was a good time. Thank you, ArtisanK, for coming and hanging out.
Thank my boss.
Yeah. Thank you, SureShot, for coming on. It was always a really good time. As always, everybody who hopped on, thank you for hanging out today. My hip is telling me that I am done.
His hip don't lie.
No, my hip don't lie. So it is about time to hop off. I appreciate all of you. As always, make sure you guys keep your gaming on. Warrior, SureShot, and ArtisanK out.